In this video, I'm going to be going over exactly how you revise during Ramadan whilst fasting the entire day, whilst also not putting too much stress over yourself. Before that, who am I? I'm a year 13 student studying maths, further maths and physics at one of the best schools in the UK, and I got pretty much all 9s at GCSEs, and I'm overall a pretty good student, but this isn't the only thing about me. I'm not like an NPST student who's always been getting good grades. I went through a massive transformation back in year 10 to 11, where I went from getting 4s and 5s, like C's and D's at school, to getting like one of the top grades in my exams at the end of summer. But before I tell you exactly how you revise during Ramadan, let me tell you a story. Around 2 years ago, I was doing my GCSE exams, and I was really anxious when Ramadan was coming up. The reason probably isn't what you think. A lot of people are quite excited for Ramadan, but me being like the overthinker I am, I was getting really anxious about how my revision would suffer when I go into the month. I've always been known to like slack off revision when Ramadan comes along and like you're fasting the entire day. By the way, if you don't know what Ramadan is, it's a month where Muslims fast from dusk till dawn without eating food or water. And this video isn't just for Muslims, it's anyone who wants to plan their revision in general, but this is more tailored towards Muslims. Anyway, back to the story. I was doing my GCSE exams and I went online and saw advice from a guy named Shigs, I think, and I watched this video, pretty good video. I took notes and everything. Like as soon as I went into Ramadan, everything went out the window and I started just not doing any work the entire day. I remember literally having so much anxious mental stress because I just slacked off during Ramadan, when in fact I could have just done the steps in this video to get better at sticking to revision. So this video is a video I wish I had 2 years ago when I went into those exams, and I basically slacked off all the revision and basically had to start again for my GCSE exams. The 3 steps in this video are planning your revision, sticking to a daily routine, and number 3, not overthinking. Let's go over them one by one. Number 1 is planning. When you plan work, you probably don't do it quite as in depth as you should, and especially when it comes to Ramadan and there's so much happening around you. In general, Ramadan is a pretty happy month. It's like Christmas, but the entire month. It's so sick. All of your family's around, like there's so much just buzz in the air. So it's really easy to get distracted, and even more so now than ever. You have to be able to plan your work very intricately. And I've struggled with planning my entire life until I came across like a very successful entrepreneur, Charlie Morgan, who introduced me to something called the Warm App. Now the Warm App is basically a massive spreadsheet with every single month of the year, divided into sections with every single day. And what this enables you to do is it enables you to plan really intricately on exactly what work you're going to do per day for the entire year. So you can literally plan, like theoretically, if you close this video right now, which I'm not telling you to do it after, but if you do that right now, you could go away and plan exactly what work you're going to do every single day until exams. Even during exam season, you could theoretically plan exactly what you're going to do. Now this is a very good idea, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. In the book 33 Strategies of War by this guy named Robert Greene, he basically says that to win a war, you basically have to plan as much as possible. Now, I know this sounds like really cringe when I say it. You may be like cringing right now. Oh my god, like this guy thinks he's some kind of like alpha. Why does he think like exams are war? But like genuinely, I know how cringe it is. I've seen my own videos. I know how cringe it is. But just trust me with this. Just genuinely, just take the planner. It's linked in the description down below. If you take that planner, if you plan exactly what work you're going to do per day, it has to be sustainable as well. If you plan exactly the worksheet you're going to do per day throughout the course of Ramadan, that saves you so much mental turmoil in you planning your work in general. Like I remember the problem for me during Ramadan is I would wake up for like Sehri, which is basically like I would wake up in the morning, I would eat food, and then I would go to my desk and I would just be stuck on what work I should actually do, and then I would just like really easily get distracted and just like scroll on Instagram or something, scroll on like Ramadan reels, or so like scroll on what are those like mukbangers. I would go over like mukbang videos. I don't know. It's so sick to watch mukbang videos during Ramadan, especially when you're fasting. But anyway, that's a side tangent. Planning your work is extremely important, and the way I recommend you do it is just divide Ramadan into a month and just plan. Just sit for about 1 to 2 hours. Put some music in. Actually, music is haram. But by the way, I want to clarify this. I'm not speaking from a position of authority. I understand that I'm not the perfect Muslim. There are some things that I do that are haram. I acknowledge that. But I'm on my own journey, and I know a lot of YouTubers say that, oh yeah, like I'm on my own journey. Genuinely, I'm trying to improve and become the most halal person I can, and one step at a time, and eventually, in an ideal scenario, I will become halal. I'm not positioning myself as the ultimate like Muslim authority. This is just advice from an 18-year-old who's also trying to do the same as you. That's beside the point. Just plan exactly what work you're going to do per day during Ramadan, and that saves you so much mental turmoil when it actually comes to the day and you don't know what to do. The second step is to stick to a daily routine. Now, I've made an entire guide on my channel on exactly how how you structure a daily routine. I genuinely think they're the most OP thing you can have in general. They're genuinely like, they're one of the best productivity hacks you can have, genuinely. If you know exactly what task you're gonna do, exactly what time you're gonna do it on, it's so OP because it just saves you so much deciding to do. Like, you may be stuck in between like a free period in school and you don't really know what to do if you haven't planned. If you've planned beforehand, you know exactly what work you're gonna have to do then, and also you feel less guilty about doing other stuff that isn't a revision. But back to my point, during Ramadan, your daily routine's probably gonna change. You have to wake up really early, you have to go to sleep quite late if you're going to Tarawih and stuff. So what I would recommend you do is you basically sit down for an hour after this, after you've planned out like the warm-up, you sit down for an hour after this, and then you plan exactly what time you're gonna do the task for each day. This daily routine can be more general. So for example, my one, I have, let me just run you through my Ramadan routine, the A-level Ramadan routine. So I wake up at 4:30. Now this for me, I know that like Fajr it's not dependent, right? It can change throughout the day. But for me, I wake up and I go straight to my desk and I start revising. I just go and wash my face, start revising. I don't start eating anything, I don't do anything. And then when my family kind of wakes up, we have food together, I eat food and then come back on my desk and then do another block of revision. So I do another block of deep work. So in total, my goal is in the morning before school, I want to try and do around 3 hours of revision. So the reason for that is when I go to school and I come back from school, I'm going to be so tired. And this is like a tip I want to give to you. You're probably going to overestimate the amount of work you're going to do during Ramadan. You're going to grossly overestimate the work you're going to do, but that's all right. Everyone does it. Understand this, you're going to be really, really tired after you come back from school or sixth form. So I'm going to come back from sixth form. I'm going to do maybe 45 minutes of like not really, really intensive work. So maybe like maths or something, like really, I wouldn't say easy maths questions, but like pure maths or something. And then I go to sleep, I wake up again, I go to the mosque, hit gym, and then go out with some mates. That's my routine. Now my routine is going to vary a lot from your personal like revision routine during Ramadan, but here are some tips I have to give to you. The first one is try and plan something semi-fun at the end of the day. Like, don't cram work at the end of the day, especially during iftar. I've tried this before. I've tried to cram like 2 hours of like a physics paper during iftar, and then as soon as iftar comes and like my family's having food and everything, it's really hard to be that one dude who's just like, who says no to his family, says no to any fun, and he just goes and sits in a room and does physics revision. You could be that person. You could be really, really disciplined. I can't. I know that like I have, especially during Ramadan when it's so tiring, like taxing on the body and the mind. I think that planning something fun, like going out with friends or going to the gym together with one of your mates, is really, really productive just because it gives you something to look forward to. It just makes you work harder in the day. That's one tip I have for you when you're designing your Ramadan routine. Another thing I have for you is try and do work as soon as you get up, like during Sahri. Like, I know you're going to be sleep deprived during Ramadan. Like, there's a very high chance that you're going to be sleep deprived throughout the entire month. And I know that having bad sleep is bad, but it's just like, you kind of have to firm it, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, if you want to get work done, you have to kind of firm the 6 to 7 hours of sleep during Ramadan. So I would recommend you get up, do some work, eat food in the morning, and do the bulk of your revision in the morning, and then like have fun in the evening. This actually links to a productivity tip that I really, really like called Eat the Frog by this guy named Brian Tracy. And he basically says that the best time to do work is in the morning, just because your mind is more prone to enter the flow state. If you don't know what that means, it basically means that your mind in the morning, genetically, like, it doesn't matter if you're a morning person or an evening person, it's a blanket thing throughout most humans. I would say that there may be some exceptions, but most humans are genetically more inclined to be more focused during the morning, just because like if you go through the entire day and you're looking at your phone or you're talking to other people, you are going to be some degree of mentally tired after the entire day. So if you try work in the evening, you are going to perform slightly worse than if you just straight away get up and then work. So that's another tip I have for you when you design your routine for Ramadan. But as soon as you've planned properly and as soon as you've designed this like a proper routine, all you have to do now is just stick to these two and you are so calm. As soon as you've made these two things sustainable and you haven't done anything crazy like 7 hours of revision, I do about 3, maybe like pushing it, I may do 4, but 3 is quite standard for my day. As soon as you do that, you're pretty much calm. Like that, in my opinion, if I did that in GCSE, that would have been so fine. I wouldn't have had to do any work leading up to the GCSE exams if I had just done that and stuck to that during Ramadan. So if you just do these two things, you should be fine. The third tip I have for you is more niche and it's more of like a mindset thing, and it's improving your attitude or just improving your mindset towards Ramadan. I want to start this tip off with a story. In year 10, I remember it was Ramadan, so I was fasting and we had cooking. So no, actually this was year 9 then, sorry, because I didn't take cooking for GCSE, but I had like a cooking class the next day, and we basically were told by the teacher to bring ingredients to like cook in the cooking class the next day. day. Now, again, I wasn't like a very good student. I'm not like a perfect teacher's pet student. I don't sit at the front of the class. I kind of do now, but like back then I wasn't like a perfect student in any regards. I was getting very bad, I wouldn't say very bad grades, but quite bad grades in class, and I just wasn't listening to teachers. So what I did was I just didn't buy any of the ingredients. I didn't tell any of my parents or anything. I wrote an email to my teacher at I think 2 a.m. So I was up till 2 a.m. I wrote an email to my teacher saying, yeah, I can't bring my ingredients in because it's Ramadan. So I go to school the next day with no ingredients for my cooking exam. This is like an exam, by the way. It's not like a practical. It's like the end of year or like one of the final exams you have in year 9. I go in there and I bring no ingredients for the cooking test or the cooking exam. And I go there and I see one of my mates and I tell him like, look, I have no ingredients for my cooking class. Can you do something? So he lends me one singular onion. So we're gonna make this like chicken like roast dinner, and he lends me one singular onion for that. So I go there and I see that one of my Pakistani friends, my only Pakistani friend, hasn't bought ingredients in as well. So we both look at each other and we go to our teacher, and our teacher, like when she sees that we have no ingredients for the exam, she goes absolutely ballistic. Like she's completely lost it. She screams at us. She says, oh yeah, like you can't be doing this. What, you should have told me earlier. And I look at my friend and we genuinely just burst out laughing. I can't remember exactly what happened after that. I think we both got like detentions after school or something like that. But the point of this story was during Ramadan, we had like my best memories in life come from during Ramadan. Like the happiest I've ever felt in life was 100% during Ramadan. Now, the problem with watching videos like this is you tend to over-optimize things way too much. Or like I would have thought that like, oh, like I have to be productive the entire day. Like I have to revise the entire day. I can't like be out with friends. I can't go to the mosque. But you have to realize that 5 years from now, no one's really gonna care. Like I know this is very, very hypocritical with me because I am a study YouTuber, but no one's really gonna value your grades. Like honestly, if you're doing GCSEs right now, as soon as you enter the first day of A levels, no one's gonna care about your grades. What will stick with you are the memories you make during Ramadan. Or at least for me, the memories I've made during Ramadan mog any other memories I have throughout any other period of time. Like Ramadan is that one Islamic month where you genuinely just have fun. That like everyone in your family is just happy. Why waste it by over-optimizing it for exams? I know they are important. I know A levels are important. I know GCSEs are important. But stop over-optimizing your day to revise all the time, or like don't sacrifice social connection for revising grades. Your mindset for Ramadan, or at least I think that your mindset for Ramadan should be way more healthier in the fact that you should be like, oh yeah, I'll get work done in the morning, but I'm not going to over-optimize in the evening, just because you are going to make memories during this month. This is going to have a knock-on effect on your grades just because you're going to be way happier coming out of Ramadan as well. So I know I've ranted a lot during this one section, but the TLDR of this entire section is just that when you plan your Ramadan schedule or when you plan your revision during Ramadan, I know we have exams, they're very, very important, but just try not to over-optimize your routine. Try not to cram loads and loads of stuff in throughout the entire day, especially when it comes to revision. Like you can go to the gym and stuff like that, but try to prioritize social connection during this month as well. Just because you make the best memories during this month, and I've made the best memories during this month of Ramadan, and I hope I will make better memories this year as well, inshallah. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that this video has helped you in planning your revision during Ramadan. Hopefully you get the best grades in class and you get the best grades in school, and I wish you nothing but the best. Subscribe to this channel if you like this video and you want to see similar content. Share this video to a friend who isn't locked in during Ramadan. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.